Alright, hey guys. Just doing a little OBS test. I realized recently that OBS updated so where it will pull the video straight from an HD PVR2, which was not the case previously. Prior to this, I was actually blowing up the preview of the capture software full screen and then just doing a display capture. And I also figured out that you can do 4x3 to the filters. I just want to see what it looked like. Yeah, I just want to see what it looked like. So we're doing a little test, taking the audio, seeing what that sounds like, seeing what this video quality looks like with it being in its original ratio. As you can see, I'm just grinding in some easebooks one too. I'm gonna set this to private, so most people won't even see it. This is just basically for anybody who may or may not drop in. Let's see, we have 2 people right? Hey guys, thanks for joining the chat. Joining the stream, rather. If you want to join the chat, please put something in the comments. Let me know what my audio levels sound like. Trees. There's a brightness rule. Is it washed out? Music loud, my voice is soft. Okay. Test. How's that sound? Hopefully I'm not too loud. Blowing out the mic. I also kind of mumble sometimes. Like usually when I start a stream, I project with my voice and I talk like I normally do in a conversation, and then as the stream goes on, I relax and start to grumble. Also, my door is open and my son is asleep, so I'm trying not to yell into the mic too loud. I need to keep that into consideration. Or take that into consideration. Rather. See, like that, I just started to mumble. I went up recently, like 16 enemies ago. There we go. Ken, thanks for joining in and let me know what my audio sounds like, bud. I'm gonna switch the windows around. You can hear me better? I need to go louder a notch or two. I'll just have to speak louder into the microphone. Or does the music need to go down a notch or two? Yep. So does that... Okay, so... Does the music need to go down? You're all good. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright, well, let's enjoy some East-filled music. And grind some levels out and make some money. I want to play through the Ys games. I have a few of them. I have, clearly I have Ys Books 1 and 2 here on the Turbo Duo. I have Ys 3 Wonders from Ys on the Turbo Duo. I actually have, Ys 7 Ark of Napishtim on PS2, but I don't actually own a PS2. I'll have to buy a PS2 to play that game. I recently just picked up Ys Origins, I'm thinking. Multiple Origins. And I picked up Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. So that'd be cool to go through all the games. But I also... Sweet, John9904 agrees. We sound good. I have a bunch of games that I need to clean up. I think I have a list of 6 games that I need to finish, that I started playing on the channel. I have a list here. Hold on, let me return my microphone. Good thing about Ys is you can play one-handed. let's see, Dark Souls I need to finish, Super Castlevania 4, Castlevania Curse of Darkness, Max Payne, Dead Space, and Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 being our Cyberpunk Saturdays game that we started. So I really need to finish those up. Before I start committing to any other streams. They really aren't Let's Plays or walkthroughs anymore, are they? They're just, hey, I'm going to stream this game. Come watch. But what I'm doing here is, so when you first pop into this game, you come off of the ship, as Adol want to do, and the fortune teller is like, yo, come see me. And you follow her and you go into her shop, and she's like, I got some important stuff to say, but I need you to go buy a sword and some armor and come back. And what I usually do is I go buy the sword and the armor, and then I come out here and I grind enough money to buy the best sword, which is the katana, and the best armor, and the penultimate shield. I don't think you can get the best shield. I think it's the silver shield, which is in a chest somewhere. But yeah, I usually do that, and I usually have enough experience, and the equipment is so good that you can pretty effectively break like the first, probably at least probably first half of the first book of these. I mean, I think you'll get into the tower before you start to face enemies that pose a threat to you again. And if you're familiar at all with the channel, that's something that I like to do with pretty much any game that I play. I kind of look at all the systems, mechanics in place, and see if there's a way that I can take advantage of those and just kind of break the game. I did a video, goodness, probably 2, maybe 3 years ago at this point. It was overpowered in Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, before the first boss, before the first castle, where like I just level grinded like crazy and got like as much as the cool stuff on the first continent of Zelda 2 Adventure of Link before I ever fought the boss. And when you are full powered and you have the downward thrust, that first boss is made so easy. The little horsehead guy with the mace swinging at you. Yeah, that was a fun video to make. I think it was about half an hour. If you guys want to go into our videos and check that out. It's just overpowered before the first castle, Zelda 2, I think. I really want to get the PSP games for this, but I need... So, I find this series releases, they are really hard to keep track of. Because I think that one of the PSP games is a re-release of the 7th one? Napishtim? And I think that... And then there's another one that's a re-release of books 1 and 2, this game. There's also a DS game where it's a re-release of books 1 and 2. I don't know, I really need to do my my ease research. It's not a series you can just jump into, you have to ease into it. Am I right? I think it's funny when people stream, upload gameplay, and say this is stupid during a fight because they can't figure out how an enemy moves or dialogue. That is a good point, Ken. I don't call it stupid. I realize that I don't know what I'm doing in the game. But I have run into that a lot because I'll play games blind. I played Mankind Divided blind, and I don't think that anyone who wants to watch those could make it through that first episode because I died so frequently, and it was over something stupid. Like I missed a glowing prompt. I didn't complain about it and say this game is dumb, but I'm pretty sure I complained about myself. I think I was like, man, I'm dumb because I really should have played this game before I tried to stream it. I eventually found my stride, but man, that first episode, I doubt anyone will make it through that. Not that we have, a teeming fan base that's just ravenously trying to get through consume our content. Since we recently just hit 10,000 subscribers, I was always thinking of doing like I don't know if a Q&A session would, I don't know if people care about our opinions that much, or a game room tour, like if you guys want to see like all the different things in my collection. There's no face cam now, but if you watch the podcast, you can see my library behind me. I don't know if anybody would be interested in those. I would totally do one. Ark of Nepishtim on PSP and Book 1 and 2 on the DS. Both are pretty good. It's hard to beat the awesomeness of the Turbo version, though. I hear that, man. There's nothing like OG hardware. I love putting a disc in anything. In fact, one of my favorite systems, like it's a weird thing to enjoy, but putting a Famicom Disk System disc into a Famicom Disk System is an incredibly satisfying sensation. Like just the ka-chunk it makes going in. Wish I had your library of games, or at least say I played a library with the game. I still have several games I like. I think that's the best part of a library, because I try to avoid. I say it kind of reflexively, but I try to avoid saying collection, just because that's kind of the vernacular that's, kind of, that exists on YouTube. But I really do want to kind of treat it as a library where I have games that I've never played, you know, that I haven't opened yet, where one day I get curious and I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to play this game today. That was kind of the idea behind having a huge library of books back in the day. Was you own these books, you haven't read every single one of them, because you could go through and pick one and citation needed. I think that's how you do it. Once I build my time machine, I'll know for certain. How does the video quality look, guys? Are the colors washed out? Does it look too bright, too dark? Oh, hey, we can afford the katana at this point. After that, we might be able to cross the bridge and stay alive. Looks great. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's... building a library of video games nowadays would be quite the feat. Yeah, 5,000. Cool. But I have a system that I think could work for anyone. You know, you can... It's something that I actually stole from my father-in-law, who he would, for his birthday or for Christmas, he would just ask for Bass Pro gift cards. He loves Bass Pro. And one, either birthday or Christmas, he wound up with like $300 worth of gift cards. I was like, that's genius. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have family members who are in the know enough to go on eBay and pick something up for me. If I want something rare, if I wanted a Turbo Duo game, for instance, I would have to buy that for myself. Nobody else is going to know how to do that. So that is when I started thinking about buying or getting gift cards for presents. Just that's it. The thing I want is on eBay. You guys probably won't know it, so just give me gift cards. Another way to, you know, I have you have a birthday and a Christmas, so that's two instances in which you could really rack up money for purchases. So another thing that you could do on top of that would be, every time you get paid, buy an eBay gift card. You know, whatever you can afford, $5, $10, $25, whatever. And eventually you will save up enough money. So like if you wanted a Magical Chase, a Keo Flying Squadron, a Little Samson, you could find a way to afford that eventually. If if money's tight and you're not sure, you could just set aside the cash, because then you could really put into perspective, like, you know, I have $800 in cash in my hand right now. Do I want to spend this on a video game? And if that would better go to a savings account or something like that, you can kind of make that decision. But yeah, there are a lot of different ways that you could build up a library in today's market, in the secondhand market. And of course, there's always the I think Derek Alexander said be a, hunt for deals, don't hunt for games. So go out to places where you're going to find, or you're more likely to find, awesome games for cheap prices, instead of going straight to eBay. If you go to the right garage sale, you can find an Earthbound or a Musha, because somebody bought it and played it and then threw it in a cabinet somewhere. And this is going swimmingly. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. But I haven't died once. I think maybe I put enough time in between leaving the town and coming across the bridge. Sometimes I get a little quick on the draw. And these dogs will just maul me. Dogs? Maybe they're cats, I don't know. They're moving so fast. So now we need 6,000 gold for the armor and 6,000 gold for the shield. So what do you guys think? Do you have any like, I guess, holy grails in gaming? And definitely something that you personally want. I mean, I don't think any of us would turn down like a Nintendo Championship card, right? If I found it in the wild, but I'm not actively looking to buy one of those ever. If I die and I never own one of those cards, I don't care. But do you guys want to own a complete Earthbound or a box Little Samson or... Or are you just like, what? Hey, whatever, man. I can emulate those. What do you got? What are your guys' thoughts on it? I personally have never used an emulator. I've never downloaded an emulator. I've never installed one. I am kind of obsessively ritualistic about the way that I play video games. Back in, I was listening to Shockwave's podcast. It's a horror movie podcast. And they were talking about Shocktober, where they basically recreated a video store where they took, like, people just sent in like VHSs and they set them up as you would see in a video store, and people could like go through and peruse the box art. I thought that would be kind of a cool callback for kids today who never had that experience, who never had it's the weekend, I'm going to go rent a video game and keep it all weekend and play it and try and beat it and fail because the American port was made more difficult because of the rental market, so now I have to go buy it. We all know why you made Ninja Gaiden 3 have finite continues, Tecmo, alright? We all know. We don't forget. What are you guys hoping to get for Christmas? I just picked up a Switch not long ago. It was about a month ago now. And let my wife know that a physical copy of I Am Setsuna would be greatly appreciated. So I'm hoping that's under the tree. I've really been wanting to play some Super Castlevania 4. Okay, John says, totally agree. There was something special about heading to Blockbuster on a Friday night. Also missed the boxes and manuals. Ah, the good old days. Ken says, me, I'm stuck when it comes to PC. Like, do I want to buy games my PC can't handle and hope I upgrade at some point? Or upgrade PC and hope the games I want go back on sale? For that, with as frequently as Steam has good sales going on, I would go for the upgrade now, because PC games are basically only going to get cheaper. I can't think of an instance where that would be incorrect, unless something, I don't know, gets pulled from the market maybe, but I don't know that has happened. Kind of like PlayStation 4s with PT going for like thousands of dollars back when that was a game. See, I would go with the upgrade first, and the game second. Because if you upgrade now and then wait till the summer Steam sale, oh my goodness. Purple disagrees. By the PC games. By the PC games will always go on sale, yeah. I might have to I think I'll rename this stream Turbo Duo and Chill. So yeah, no takers on the Christmas question? You guys not hoping for anything under the tree? Whoop, whoop. How are you liking the Switch? You've got one and it is going to be one We've got one, and it's going to be one of my favorite consoles of all time, mainly due to its versatility and the ability to play anywhere. John, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like the Nintendo Switch is the second coming of the Super Nintendo. The third-party support is there. The indie support is there. The first-party titles that Nintendo are putting out are like masterpiece, masterclass. They're just showing how video games should be made. It's amazing. Like, there is an excellent reason that has already almost outsold the Wii U. This one, like, whenever I heard how many Wiis were selling, the first Wii, I always kind of cringed a little because I was just like, man, it's like 500,000 bad party games. And then like the Metroid Prime trilogy and Mario Galaxy games, and that's it. But for the Switch, they are just, man, they are killing it. Specifically, like, I played through, I haven't fully 100%ed Super Mario Odyssey, but I have got the end game, I guess you could say. And I just beat Breath of the Wild last weekend, maybe Sunday. And those games are amazing. They are amazing. Masterclass examples of video game design. On top of that, you got, you know, Mummy Demastered. You got Blaster Master. Like, you have all of these smaller games that are just firing on all cylinders. Ken says, true, I just never know when it comes to 75% off in bundles. Now under my tree, money, lots of money. Maybe replace for my Xbox 360 plus games or a PS4. PS4 is good. I love my PS4. But the Switch is a return to form for Nintendo. I personally, I don't think, like, Nintendo, the NES saved the American video game market back in, like, what, 1985? And it was, like, it revolutionized video games, basically. I mean, I know that there were, video games were more than just the Nintendo back in the 80s. You had the Master System, you had, you know, all the crazy, you know, European computers, like the ZX Spectrum and so forth. So it wasn't just the NES, but what Nintendo did with the NES, and then how they followed it up with the SNES, where all the third parties came to them, like Square Enix, before they were Square Enix, and then Capcom, like, it was the place to be for excellent games. The SNES too, and then ever since the Super Nintendo, it's always been something with Nintendo. Like, with the Nintendo 64, we stayed with cartridges. With the GameCube, it was like, hey, look, mini discs. Our thing looks like a lunchbox. It's not as powerful. And then after that, the Wii with motion controls, which ruined. I didn't like Mario Galaxy because of the motion controls. Well, I won't say I didn't like it. I played all the way through it. I got all 120 stars. But I certainly didn't enjoy it the way I enjoyed Mario 64. because of the waggle. Because it was so underpowered, the third-party developers were just like, no thank you, which was, that stemmed from the Nintendo 64 because people didn't want to try and develop crush things onto a cartridge, even though it could be done. Like, they ported Resident Evil 2 to cartridge. But it seems like with Nintendo, like the Wii U was, like, we kind of want something, like, it had the Wii U pad, so no one wanted to develop for trying to incorporate something with that pad. It would be like the early days of the DS, where somebody had to throw some gimmick in where you use the draw mechanic, like the Castlevania games come to mind, where you had to, draw a seal on the bottom thing to defeat the boss. So the Wii U had its pad, and I guess the Switch has its thing where it's like, hey, it's portable, but in the first time in Nintendo history, the hey, we have this thing with this system, this quirky little gimmick, it actually works. Like, being able to play those games on the go is an excellent idea. And all of the games are excellent. All of the third-party support is coming back. Like, they just ported Doom to it. They just released Skyrim on it. Square Enix was, I think, I heard them talking about they wanted to start releasing JRPGs on it. Like, this just feels like such a 16-bit renaissance. Not necessarily, like, in terms of game design or aesthetics or anything like that, just the idea of the market being so ready for development and people, chomping at the bit to play these games. Sexy Turbo Duo. Demands, what's up, man? This game is God. I played it on Wii Virtual Console, but I quit at the Dark Cave near games and too frustrating to finish. I'm not done with part 2 yet, but I will. How dare you talk smack about Mario Galaxy? We are no longer internet friends. Okay, Dustin, if you could pick a classic game to get a remake, a facelift, and a new format, what game and for what console? Let's see here. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. I would have it still 2D. I would have it basically the same. Just up-res the graphics, make it like awesome 2D artwork, and maybe retinker some of the things that kind of the time waster punishments that you get. Like, if you have to continue, you start all the way over at the palace where Zelda is, and you have to like make your way all the way back. Maybe redo some of that, and of course put it on the Switch. But it has to have a physical copy release, and the tiny little card has to be gold. I think, like, Zelda 2 Adventure of Link is one of my favorite Legend of Zelda game. It's probably my favorite. I don't know, Breath of the Wild was excellent, but just because nostalgia has such is so powerful, I enjoy it. Like, I have such a nostalgic attachment to that game. Of waking up on Saturday morning, watching Saved by the Bell and playing that game with my family. Zelda 2 is the best 8-bit Zelda, period. That's what's up, Demez. See, we're still internet friends. I still don't know why people hate that game. I think it's just because it's just kind of the zeitgeist of hating something. It got popular to hate, so people jumped on it. But I think that game is incredible. it is unforgiving. I will give that is without a doubt. That's like objectively, like empirical, basically. So if you tweaked that, I think that game, it's amazing. Like, it has RPG mechanics. You gain experience, you gain levels. You can choose which one of your levels that you want to spec out. You can choose defense, magic, what is it? No, life, magic, no, defense, magic, and strength. It's basically like a sprawling open world Metroidvania, because you have to have certain items to get into certain places. The music is fantastic. The gameplay is good. You get all these different abilities. Like, that game, man, that game is awesome. We've almost got enough for the armor. Battle of Olympus on NES. I hear people bring that up when Zelda 2 comes up. I need to pick that up, Demez, and try that out. Because I hear people all the time talk about how good that game is. John, do you agree that Battle of Olympus is good, or do you agree that Zelda 2 is better than Zelda 1? Or both? Oh, 6,000. Chase me. Chase me either. Both, yeah. Oh, whoops. My father is mayor of Zeptic Village. He seems worried lately. Will you please go and see what troubles him? Yeah, sure. Alright guys, we're almost there. 6,000 more gold and we'll buy a shield. Purple One said that he had all of his presents already. I picked up Sonic Forces on the Switch for Solly. Zelda 2 is better than Zelda 1? Heresy. No, buddy, it's true. I think a majority of people in the chat right now are agreeing with me that Zelda 2 is superior to Zelda 1. Perhaps only in maybe playability. You know, being nice to the player is Zelda 1 superior. If you die in a dungeon, you go to the start of that dungeon with 3 hearts. They don't warp you all the way to the beginning of the world. But man, Zelda 2, that game is fantastic. I like Zelda 2 better than Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time? I like it better than Link to the Past. I like it better than... I definitely like it better than Twilight Princess. I haven't played Skyward Sword. Man, I would... Like, I would kick a baby to get another 2D Link. Not my baby, but somebody else's. Whoops. Calm down on the baby kicking. I've been worried if you were willing to kick your... Oh, I've been worried if you're willing to kick your own baby. But this is, you know, this is coming from someone who also really likes Simon's Quest. Again, that is nostalgia because I think that might have been the first game I ever beat. That sounds right. Just because it's so... That's very player friendly in regards to like just starting you over exactly where you died. Regardless, like you can lose a life or lose a continue, you're just going to be right there. Ooh, that's another one. If Konami ever like started doing smart stuff and making money again in video games, if they redid Castlevania Simon's Quest, like oh man, it was a prime opportunity to do it on WiiWare because they did Castlevania Adventure Rebirth. If they did Simon's Quest Rebirth, holy cow, man, why didn't they do that? That would have been so good. Castlevania Adventure Rebirth, by the way, fantastic game. Fantastic Castlevania game. Like, I wasn't happy with my Wii, so I sold it. That game came out, I rebought a Wii for it. And I was incredibly happy. It was such a good game. Awesome, awesome remixes of the Castlevania Game Boy soundtracks, which are incredible by themselves. Speaking of Zelda 2, if you guys like that and you have a DS, the Adventure Time game, Hey Iceman, Why'd You Steal Our Garbage, is very heavily inspired by Zelda 2. But I think, as Jeremy Parrish said, it's a lot like Zelda 2 if the developers didn't hate the gamer. It would have been awesome if they remade Zelda 2 and fixed all of its problems, but when you go into a certain house, a character would say, I am still error. Yeah, that'd be great. And they could fix the translation on Bagu's name. And he could actually be Bug instead of Bagu. 'Cause I think that was what they were going for. Like they were friends. One's bug and one is error. And because of a mistranslation, it was Bagu. Oh, that would be awesome if he was the only like returning 8-bit sprite. That would be rad. That'd be a good callback. So what about you guys? You guys want any, you got any topics? Zero, Demaz? John? Questions? Questions, comments, concerns, bitches, scraps, complaints? Have you ever played any of the Zelda 2 remake? I have not. I didn't know it existed. What level am I? 13. Lucky number 13. Hey guys, I unmuted my TV. Let me know if you can hear it, if it's coming over my mic. The Warframe looking like Borderlands I talked about on the podcast, still funny. Would have been more funny to play if my PC didn't kill my FPS. Yeah. I would have liked to see that. I bet that would have been pretty rad. Even if it wasn't playable. Man, I've been doing this for an hour? Holy cow, time has flown by. Zerek, how are your GTA videos coming along? I watched some a little bit today. When you were, you did that one mission with the armor that you were unhappy about because it gave too few supplies. I don't know. I'm super unfamiliar with GTA Online. I'm hearing you talk about like DLC for it. Like, is that out? Have you picked it up? Like, what's going on your channel, man? Is that all you're playing? Bad and good. It's just a fooling around and not diving too deep in. The end of this song, the Filled song, reminds me of the end of a Doors song. I wonder if the composer took inspiration from it. Was it Touch Me? Come on, come on, come on, come on now, touch me, baby. That one? I think it's that, the end of that song. Sounds like the end of the background music for the field. Speaking of soundtracks, this Falcom, if you go on iTunes, I don't know how many people use iTunes, they have a whole lot of Falcom stuff for sale. A lot of Falcom soundtracks for sale. I was genuinely shocked when I saw how many of Falcom stuff they had available. Series that is meant to be seen live. I need to start up something more interesting. GTA is my ramen noodles. I need to get into some good steak dinner soon. Do you have anything in mind? I was trying to think of some that like every once in a while I'll play a video game and I'm like, man, I think Zerek would get into this. But none are coming to the top of my head right now. Coming to the top, that's not colloquialism. I don't know why I said that. thinking about Monster Hunter World being my next big series. Hey, that would be... I would be interested in that. Because I am completely unfamiliar with Monster World. I tried to play with some on like PSP once, so I downloaded a demo. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. That was before Dark Souls and kind of understanding the kind of the relationship between like animation and timing and like having a game kind of centered around that. I was kind of confused. Like this doesn't play like I don't know, like a character action game, a God of War, a Devil May Cry. And then like the monster would run from you. What the hell's going on here? See, I would totally be into that, watching you kind of unpack everything that series has, and just kind of on a YouTube logistics level, I think if you could tap into that Monster Hunter market, just people willing to like maybe throw out advice, that would probably blow your channel up. I think. I don't know, maybe I'm overestimating the Monster Hunter crowd. But they gotta exist, right? They're still bringing those games over here. Red Dead Redemption 2 is high on my list to stream when it comes out. Yeah. I haven't seen anything about it, but I know Red Dead Redemption 1 was really fun. It was a great game to just screw around in, like lasso somebody and drag them around. And yeah. All kinds of shenanigans could ensue then. Like, especially if you're playing on a stream and some of the, like, kind of random GTA, or not GTA, but, like, Rockstar kind of shenanigans break out, like, you could really catch some fun stuff. So what else? Hey, Ready Player One. What do you guys think about Ready Player One? Have you read the book? Have you seen the trailer for the movie? What are your thoughts? Let's see here. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Yes, dude, I keep forgetting about that game. I backed the PS4 copy. Oh my goodness, I'm so stoked about Igarashi putting out a new game. Bloodstained comes out around the same time as well. Second quarter 2018. Monster Hunter World is mid-January. Red Dead is Q2 as well. I've read it and the preview surprised me. I never thought they could pull off so many 80s licenses. Yeah, I guess because it had Spielberg behind it, like everything is in that. You can see Chucky. I think there's a Gundam in it. The Iron Giant. I saw. I don't remember all of that being in the book, though. I kind of remember the book being like this love letter to the 80s, and it seemed like it went a little too broad, in my opinion. But maybe, I don't know, maybe like that's what Ernie Klein wanted the entire time, and he just didn't have the money behind it. And when the movie producers were like, yo, we got money, he's like, well, I want all this in it too. Yeah, I love the book. But, I mean, it's cyberpunk fiction, so of course I'm going to like it. as opposed to the cyberpunk nonfiction that we live in every day. Which is legit. I saw, I think it was on the Daily Wire, I read an article about people starting a religion based around worship of artificial intelligence. And speaking of cyberpunk, I actually rewatched Minority Report the other day. And one, I didn't realize how old that movie was. I think it's like a 2000 release or 99. Like it's getting up there in age. Like it's almost 20 years old, and it shows in some of the CG. Man, there are parts in that movie that they do not work for me. But overall, I liked it. I still, like, I enjoyed it. I bought it on Blu-ray. So it made the Blu-ray collection. Metal Gear Survive is coming out Q1, I think. Obviously, that would be the best Metal Gear ever made, so I have to play that. And I watched a video from, I think it was The Gaming Brit on YouTube. He did a video on why Metal Gear Solid 5 was so disappointing. It was a really good video. I think it was him. If not, it was Hyperbit Hero. Burp, 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 burp. Shenmue 3 is early 2018, I think, as well. Oh yeah, I backed that one too. Man, the hype from that. Was that E3 that they showed all that stuff? I should probably play Shenmue 2. I should probably play the first one again. I haven't played that since, I mean, the game was new the last time I played it. And that was what, 2001? Man, that was a cool game. I remember just futzing around, like searching all of Ryo's house, and like I just stumbled upon some of the stuff that comes through in the story, and it was such a cool feeling. I don't know that that game would hold up now, though, or that I would have the time to invest. I certainly wouldn't have the time to invest that I did 17 years ago. I'm off. It's 11 p.m. here, Night Dustin in chat. Hey, Ken, thanks for stopping by, man. You're awesome. Everybody in the chat is awesome. Thank you guys, everybody, for just hanging out with me while I grind levels in a JRPG on a 22-year-old video game system. There are enemies all over the place now. They just spawned all over. I only ever played the first one. I never got my hands on 2. Yeah, same. I think, what is it? It's on Xbox, right? Whenever the second one came out, I think it came out when I was still in the military. And it passed me by. Oop, 6,000. Little step, little step. What's up? This lady. Yep, I had a Dreamcast and I felt betrayed, so I never got it. Wait, hold on. Sorry, guys. I need to make sure that I'm buying the right thing. Oh, I never equipped my armor. I bought it, I never equipped it. Dadgum. Alright, so I need to buy the shield. Whoops. Buy shield, buy large shield for 6,000 gold. Man, the soundtrack in this game is just awesome. How much for a longsword? 2,000. $4,000. 6,000. Let's see if we can make another 6,000. We'll fill in those holes. Then I might call it here. This has been, oh, hold on. The thieves have stolen many treasures from the shrine and have stashed them in their hideout. Bastards. This has been neat. I didn't think anybody would sit and listen to me grind levels. I thought this would be over very quick. Saving game. Alright. I wish I always had the day after the podcast off. I would, that would be like a nice nightcap for our podcast. Turbo Duo and chill. A new Metro game is supposed to be coming out as well. I need to check the release date on that and play the entire series before it releases. I've always been interested, but have never played them. Yeah, I played those games. They're really good. I enjoyed them. Also, since you read Ready Player One, it's definitely a different kind of science fiction, but I know the first Metro 2033 is a good book. Like, I read it. I haven't read 34, and I think 35 has come out since then. So yeah, I would recommend the books too. At least the first one. Hey, have you ever thought about the Stalker games, Xeric? Or anyone else for that matter. It's not specific to Xeric. Somebody else wants to chime in. The Last of Us 2, yes. Oh man, The Last of Us. That game is so good. I totally recommend the Game of the Year edition remaster for PS4. Like, I liked that game a lot on the PS3, but when they remastered it on the PS4 and just improved the load time so much, it took that game from like a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. Like, I loved that game. I played it on... Like, I've almost platinumed that game. Like, I have to beat the tippy top, like, hardest difficulty. And I think at that point I'll have platinumed that game. Death Stranding. So, man, I don't know what to think about those. I mean, I certainly don't know what to think of the game because we've seen zero gameplay of it. So I'm really curious what it's going to be. I've seen you play one of them. Some of my subs used to suggest I play Stalker when I was playing Fallout. I played through the first Stalker game. Those are really... Well, okay, again, I'm saying those. That first game was super duper enjoyable. Like, it's definitely one of those... It's actually kind of the same... difficulty curve that you get with Breath of the Wild, where you start out with nothing and it's just like, okay, here's this world, make your way. It's very much the same, but with firearms and irradiated Russia. Shadow of the Colossus remake for PS4 is coming next year as well. That's been a huge backlog game for me. I've been meaning to play it for years. Yeah, man, that game's great. Man, I'm just steamrolling enemies now. Wonder if I could live through the cave up here. Let's try it out. Oh, I can. You guys can hear some new music. Man, video games are awesome. We may see Cyberpunk 2020, but at this point I'm thinking it's not going to release until 2020. Dude, I don't know. I've never played a CD Projekt Red video game, but I mean, I can't see myself not liking that game. Right? I mean, that seems like that was a game made for me, basically. And I'm all about letting developers... that's fine. If they need to take time to finish a game, let them do it. I'm sure you'd agree. Sit still so I can kill you. I'd like to stream the entire Witcher 3 game. I'd totally watch that. My only exposure has been listening to Mike from the Cartoon Retrocast and Scott talk about it. I need to get around to playing Prey. I mentioned earlier I've got about 6 video games that I'm in the middle of doing like walkthrough / let's plays of. And I really need to I'm gonna try and concentrate on getting through those before I start anything else myself. Cyberpunk Saturdays was kind of derailed by the Halloween season, even though I really didn't do anything video game wise for the Halloween season. I think until November when I played some of Dead Space, and then I fell off playing that. So I suck. I need to stream more frequently. I just started thinking about something very hard. I may stream Witcher 1 and 2 next. They're backlog games. Prey is so good. Yeah. I remember you telling me that. I need to get on it. Oh, whoops. I meant to do this. Some crafty kid stole it the other day. Crafty kid. So we don't have it anymore, sorry. Man, that store music is so good. So we've cleaned out all of the stores. Yeah, no holes in our inventory. I really been wanting to play some Super Castlevania 4. I got that for Christmas one year, so I tend to think back on it whenever these times roll around. All these remakes, I would like them to announce something like Desert Bus 2. Something as a joke, yeah. That'd be great. Experience has got to get away. Oh, a single point. No, I'm good. What level am I at? I've already bought all the equipment. Could you imagine seeing that at the next E3? That game is tough and also amazing. Level 16. Come back here so that I might smite thee. Dun, 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 dun. A tough and amazing electronic torture device. I frankly don't hate anybody enough to use such a barbaric tool against them. Bum, 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 bum. Did I go up a level? Yeah, I didn't. I just missed it. Okay. Guys, I think I'm going to call it here. Going back to town and save it. Call the video. I need to get in bed so I don't sleep half the day away tomorrow. Oh, will you stop it? Why don't you stay out of my way, lady? Alrighty. I would like it if someone like Nintendo secured the entire Turbo Duo library for digital classic release. I never had a chance to play any of its games. That would be awesome, dude. Yeah. That would be an awesome idea. Man, if they put out the virtual console and it had Turbo Duo games all over it, that would be amazing. Yeah, John, thank you to everybody. Literally, thank you guys so much for just hanging out with me while I basically do capture tests and grind levels. You guys are awesome. It was awesome conversation. Seriously, I might make this a thing, like a Turbo Duo and Chill, where we just kind of like grind out levels and talk about stuff. But yes, that being said, everybody, peace out. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. I'll catch you next video. Bye, guys.